Here? All right, everybody. If you can all grab your seats. We're sorry we're a little bit delayed, but we're going to get started. I want to say hello to our live stream audience on the internet who waited hopefully patiently with us. Hopefully not too many of them have bailed on us. But welcome. It's really great to have everybody here today. It's kind of cool to look out. A lot of familiar faces in the crowd. So, it may sound kind of lofty and goofy, but we are all really here today, right? We all work together as sort of a progressive space because we all want to make the world a better place. Democrats, progressives, organizations. We don't think that everything that we do is right, but we're trying. And that's why we're here today. We share values and we're trying to move things forward. NGP VAN, who, you know, we're all here talking about today, and I work for, is a force multiplier. And we work really hard to help multiply the hard work that you guys do every day and to help you grow in capacity so that we can all work together to meet our goals. Every day at NGB VAN, really took a lot of the pressure off me. I really appreciate that. So every day we help millions of people around the world take action, right? Whether or not it's a high school student who's collecting petition signatures to try and improve their neighborhood, the young mother who's collecting donations to run for school board, or a young senator from the south side of Chicago who's going door to door because he believes that one voice can change the world. I'm Aaron. I'm the VP of Creative and Marketing at NGB VAN, and I'm really excited to have such an unprecedented audience here, both in the room and around the world where people are watching. We've never done anything like this. It's an audience of key decision makers from all over progressive politics and a remote audience of organizers, fundraisers, volunteers, supporters, campaign managers, anybody who cares. And we're glad you're here because you're all critical to the progressive movement. And we're really proud that you trust us to be the backbone of the progressive technology infrastructure. And you really are the reason that we build great technology. So to kind of set the scope for what we're talking about here today and what some of these changes are going to impact, we love the fact that there are over 300,000 customers using VAN and that it gets to be the key data platform for races of all campaigns of all sizes, doing voter management, volunteer management, member organizing initiatives. And we're excited that this year, in the midterms, it's being used by 100% of congressional candidates and 100% of senatorial candidates and 100% of gubernatorial candidates. Up and down the ballot as well. Thousands of state legislature candidates, labor member organizations, advocacy groups, and more. NGP being used by 26,000 customers, the key platform for progressive fundraising and digital engagement. Again, similar numbers. We haven't hit the 100% on congressional candidates yet, but we will by 2016. You can bet on that. So again, a huge amount of people, a huge amount of customers, but I think one of the things that gets lost often is the scale, the range of the scale. That our tools are, the same tools are supporting presidential campaigns that may be focused on 170 million voters, or a mayoral race in my hometown of Bridgeton, New Jersey, which has a much smaller audience. And every decision we make to focus on the entire sphere here, right? We care about all of these races, and we want to make impact along all of them. So what we're really talking about is these three things today. We're talking about people, data, and action. How can we use data, and how do we use data to bring more people to action? We all want to make the world a better place, and at NGP VAN, we believe we can help. We can help people vote, we can help people volunteer, we can help people donate, we can help people take action. People, data, action, using data to bring more people to action. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Stu Trevelyan, our
But we decided that this was an important thing actually for us to bring people together, both on the live stream and also here in person to talk about, because it's something that we want your help on. So it's been a great year for NGP VAN. We had a lot of client victories, obviously. Mayor Booker is now Senator Booker. We have Ed Markey, who I interned for back in 1988 as a new senator from Massachusetts. Terry McAuliffe, the governor of Virginia, rather than a crook, so that's pretty good. And we have, marriage equality around the country, lots of great things happening, lots of great mayors in new big cities. We're growing in every way that you can imagine, so we were happy that Inc. magazine recognized us today as one of the fastest growing companies in the country for the 8th year in a row, one of only 137 companies to be in that category. We're growing in terms of staff, so we have lots of great new talent from places like Eloqua, Blackbaud, a world-class tech team, lots of new clients, some large, like Ready for Hillary, lots of them small, hey, lots of them smaller through our DLCC Go and DMO programs, where we can offer the same tools that the president used, but at a price point of $45 a month. National Field we were able to acquire, and that's been fantastic. So National Field has posted its highest user numbers over the last 4 years recently, and its customer base is growing like crazy. I think my favorite thing about National Field happens to be actually the people, though. Aaron's been fantastic and really help us get to the next level, both in terms of ideas and also how do we communicate those ideas of what we're working on. I see Edward in the back, who's one of the smart, nice people that I really love, and Justin, who's really taken our new design department to a whole new level. We'll talk about some of that stuff. So we're growing in every way you can imagine. People love our technology. We're really honored by that. We're really honored by the fact that people use our technology. Again, we're a force multiplier. Without you, we're nothing. We just take what you do and hopefully make it more efficient and more powerful. And a lot of our great ideas come from you, the customers, and our understanding of how you need things to work. So one thing we're going to be doing more is we're going to try and do more good. We're going to be doing more work with nonprofits. We've obviously done a lot of work with nonprofits, but we're doing a particular initiative on that. Michelle Stevenson right here. So Michelle is going to be leading that initiative, having helped us break into the state ledge market, the down ticket market, the PAC market, so I know she'll do a fantastic job. We're lucky, really fortunate to have a person from one of our allies, one of our partner organizations, BPI, come over. Will Johnson right here. Say hi, Will. And Will's going to be our new Vice President of Sales, so that's really exciting. Advocacy is coming, so lots of folks, I see Dan Carroll back there. We did advocacy, I think, in like 1997, but we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it better this time. So we're doing a lot more R&D, investing, so that we can continue to try and provide the technology edge to Democrats and progressives. That's our mission. We're holding our second hackathon tomorrow, which is a 2-day thing, and so we'll be delivering all kinds of new cool features and products, and that's sort of exciting and culturally great for us to be doing these hackathons and having all the energy around those. We're continuing to innovate, basically, because we're honored that you let us to be, to some extent, the technology backbone for the progressive movement, and we really would never want to let you down. So, again, honored by the fact that we have leaders of, the party committees, of the labor movement. I saw Mike Potterhorser here, our partner organizations, partner companies. It's great that you're here, and this is something that we want your help with. And I think that you all should be proud of that. It's actually one of the things that I think distinguishes us from the Republicans, who, if you kind of look at where are the Republicans today, well, the Republicans did an autopsy report in 2012, and it said, we should kind of try and create VAN. That would be a good idea. How about we do that? And so they're trying, and their RNC is working on GOP Beacon, but it turns out it's in beta, and it's not going to be ready for 2014, and they're still pushing the GOP Data Center, which everybody hated in 2012, so that's not so great. So the Republicans are using a variety of I-360, which is being used by a bunch of the state parties, and voter gravity, which is being used by the Tea Party groups, and our votes, which is being used in Rhode Island, and was used by the guy who knocked off Eric Cantor, so that was good. And other companies. So it's sort of like this weird fragmented market, and the fact that you all have been able to experience the benefits that you have of collaboration across data and across technology, I think is something that's provided our community with a great benefit. So kudos to you. So, obviously, one of the things that we say about ourselves is that we've been battle tested. In 2012, there were 329 million door knocks and phone calls made powered through the van, and that's amazing. That's, again, your work, not ours, but we're honored to be part of it. Through NGP, over $3 billion was raised by Democratic candidates, the vast majority of the money that was raised by Democrats. Again, your work, not ours, but we're honored to be part of it. But today we're really here to talk about the future, where we're headed, how we fit into the ecosystem, how we want you to help us fit into the ecosystem and participate in that ecosystem, and what we're asking other people around the country to do. So to take a step back, in history, 2012, if we don't know our history, we're doomed to repeat it. Here was sort of the tech stack, to some extent, of the Obama campaign. You see sort of the four major types of data: field, finance, digital, powering down to analytics. And there was a thing called Narwhal in the middle there, and Narwhal had sort of two main goals. One was to compile information so that the awesome analytics team could do their great work. And the second was theoretically to be a platform upon which applications can be built. And some of that vision got realized and some of it didn't. Obviously campaigns are hard timelines to build things in. But it was a good idea. And so when we kind of looked at it, we said, geez, there's this old way, and there's digital fundraising, organizing, and media silos. That's not good because it leads to bad outcomes, right? You end up with fragmented views of people and less than optimal outcomes. You're not asking the right people at the right time for the right thing. And a person isn't siloed. I feel sometimes like NGP VAN is a little bit like the elephant in that allegory, right? Some people know us by the trunk, and some people know by the tail, and some people know by the leg, and NGP VAN or digital or whatever. But this is kind of like, maybe the TV people are interested in your eyes, and the field people are interested in your legs, because that's how you get to the door, and the fundraising people are interested in your wallet area. But that's not really what a person is. A person is a person. Siloed data makes everything bad, right? It makes modeling bad, field, finance, comms, everything. So coming back to what happened in 2012, we were honored to work on that campaign, and it was a great win, obviously, and lots of people did more important things than we did. But it did have an important lesson to learn, and we could learn from the approach. The power that a unified view of an individual across all channels could have. A person in their whole, in all their glory. And so when we go back to looking at 2012, there are a lot of good things that happened. When we go on to 2013, unfortunately, Narwhal didn't survive. It was resource intensive to maintain and extend. There was a lot of good news, and so our friends in the community know about Civis and Blue Labs and a lot of the analytics companies that came out of the campaign, and that was really great progress. And the analytics companies, other analytics companies like Clarity and Catalyst continue to do great work. But there was sort of a hole in the middle. So in 2013, we kind of sat down at NGP and we said, okay, where do we want to spend our time? Where do we want to spend our resources in terms of delivering on the mission of providing Democrats and progressives with the tech edge? And we said, okay, what are the highest value projects? What should we be working on? And it was absolutely agreed that we should be working on the unified view, that was the most important thing, that we were the best positioned people to help crack the code on that. Because we have so many people who trust us to interact with their field and fundraising and digital data. And that we can provide that, not to just to one campaign, but up and down the ballot and all over the globe. So just in terms of thinking about, the unified view, what can it power? Well, imagine doing direct online ads to particular individuals for targets that haven't answered their door or the phone. Or imagine doing TV ads to people who tweeted about a particular issue, or personalizing your website based on offline activity, or emailing supporters who have tweeted about you and asking them to do rapid response on debate day. So bringing these different channels all together and informing a more unified view of people to allow the right asks of the right people at the right time. And so treating people like people, using more data points to get them to do what we're wanting them to do. We're going to introduce you to a lot of things today, but at the core, we really want to ask you all as a community to participate with us in this. I think, again, historically, we wouldn't have come here and sort of done a dog and pony just to show you a few new things that we built. But, and we'll get to this in a second. What we want from you is to participate in this and help us take progressive technology to the next level. So with that, to put some meat on the bones of the skeleton I laid out here, I'm going to introduce John Lee, who's one of the nicest, smartest people I know.
Hey! All right. Let's talk about some tech. All right, so Stu mentioned that a person is a person, and campaigns and organizations need to interact with them in that way. And I'm going to tell you about how our new innovation platform helps us all to do that. So our platform is designed to break down silos of people data and help you build on top of it. It's got 6 important aspects of it. A lot of it's some buzz talk, so I'm gonna walk through it quickly. Advanced matching algorithms, unified person database, a powerful analytics pipeline, a large new set of APIs, a notion that we're calling the progressive passport, and interface design patterns. And I'll go through what those things kind of mean. But taking a step back, we really started on this roadmap in 2013, sort of re-examining the work that we did with the Obama campaign and looking at sort of the technology landscape as a whole. And we realized that the number of databases storing data on people and individuals was rapidly growing. And it went from something like this, which we all are familiar with, and it's evolving into something like this, where it's not the creation of large new data sets out there, but lots of smaller specialized applications, and each containing important morsels of data about people, which is really great, but it means that we need to be able to focus on this, a unified view of a person, and it's more important than ever. And so to sort of build on the work that we did in 2012 with the Obama campaign, we started to go back to a lot of the folks that actually worked and solved these problems from within the campaign. And one of the first things we did was get their help in sort of developing advanced new matching algorithms. And it allowed us to build something we call PersonDB. It's a database of people that treats a person as an individual, and it also has links to every database within the NGP VAN application suite containing data about that person. And we're using that to power a hub that we call Relay. Relay moves data about people to make it actionable where you need it. So in other words, if you're an NGP VAN user, Relay makes it possible to get all the data that you need about a person, that your organization has about a person, within any NGP VAN application, wherever you need it. And the pairing of the powerful tools that we're talking about here, PersonDB and Relay, is an enormous advancement, not just because of the possibilities of solving these kinds of problems for large-scale presidential campaigns, but also, as Aaron mentioned, because tiny campaigns are going to be able to make better decisions and better actions as well as a result of this work. Better everything up and down the ballot. Better contact rates, better messaging across channels, better fundraising, better volunteer recruitment, better online form conversions, better modeling, better campaigns and organizations. That's what we're working on. More data equals better decisions, and I don't have to tell this from that. So we really believe that Relay and PersonDB will help progressives manage their data better than ever and help them make better decisions. And speaking of decisions, I want to talk about another piece of our platform for innovation that we're calling Analytics Pipeline, or Pipeline. It's the third pillar of our innovation platform. And what it does is it sends data to our analytics partners. We all know that analytics is more important than ever, and in 2012, one of the biggest innovations coming out of the campaign, and the most important place that we made lots of investments, was around how we model and target voters. And a big part of that innovation is up-to-date and timely data and access to meaningful data. And so we built Pipeline to make sure that analytics partners like Blue Labs, Catalyst, Civis, Clarity, that they always have the best data available so that they can build the best models possible. And it's a real-time sync, and it's powered by PersonDB, and we're excited to be working with all of you guys on it. And we know that our advantage in analytics is a key part of the progressive technology edge, and that's why it's a major part of our new innovation platform. All right, so the last two pieces of our platform go hand in hand, and I'm really excited to talk about these, APIs and Action ID. And I'm really thrilled to announce that we've teamed up with the DNC to launch an official developers portal for Democrats. So it's a portal for developers who want to help Democrats win. And we're excited really to be partnered with the DNC on this, and we think it's the first political party ever to provide this type of access to innovators at this kind of scale. Ooh. Excuse me. And it's available today at developers.democrats.org. It's the DNC Developers Portal we think will fundamentally change the way that innovation happens within progressive politics. And for our non-party sort of nonprofit and advocacy community, there's also a version of this available at developers.ngpvan.com that has the same set of APIs available. Thanks. So our hope is that we'll make it easier than ever for progressives to innovate. We really believe that strengthening the ecosystem is the future. It's the way that we're going to maintain our technology edge as a progressive community. And it's how we're going to solve big, complex problems like advanced addressability. So by gathering all of this data across all of these different applications, we're going to be able to use data collected from hundreds of apps to power TV ads, online ads, SMS, and deliver the right messages to the right people with the right content. And speaking of all of these channels and applications, we're thrilled that we're a part of this vibrant ecosystem. And there's so many amazing companies, many of which are here and represented today in our technology space that work on our side. And our experience has proven that we win when the best-in-class products all work together, and not a single solution for everything, but about taking all of the different parts and working together. And to draw attention to one such company as an example, I'm really excited to be announcing a new partnership with Attentively. Attentively is a company that does actually identity mapping. It allows us to bring social media information into NGP VAN products and adding them to your supporter records. And I'm using this as an example because I think when you tie this back to what Stu was talking about with the notion of a unified view, we're really saying that this Attentively data, social media data about your individual or about that person, can then be used by another application. So as an example, let's call it smswizard.com. And that application can use the social media data to send personalized messages using the unified view. And that kind of true cross-pollination of data across the progressive ecosystem is how we're going to get really interesting use cases, really interesting experiments that we can try. This might be an example where you send a text message to people who tweeted about you. A true cross-pollination of data across applications where each app enriches every other app. The other really big part of the development portal that I'd like to highlight is something called Action ID. So if you guys are an NGP or VAN user, you probably already have one. Action ID has been hugely successful as a primary authentication system for NGP and VAN and a lot of our other applications. And I'm really happy to announce that Action ID is evolving to be the official login method for Democrats and progressives, that users only really have to remember one username and password across these applications. We're hoping to maintain a user history across those apps from campaign to campaign so that there's no starting over each time you work on a campaign and get involved. And really what that notion is the idea of a progressive passport. That Action ID is already your progressive passport, and it shows sort of you're logging in a van, the access that you get, or NGP. And today, we're also opening that up to other developers. So developers can build apps using Action ID for login. It allows them to leverage the thousands of user accounts, the hundreds of thousands of user accounts that we have. And we really think this is an important part of fostering innovation. Getting users is hard on any platform. Even if you build it, sometimes they will not come. But let us help. So that's also available at developers.democrats.org, or for the nonprofit and advocacy community, it's available at developers.ngpvan.com. So some summing up slides. We really think that the innovation platform that we're providing is going to give tremendous advantages to developers working on our side of the ticket. We're building on top of a platform that already has nearly 100% of Democratic campaigns, labor and progressive advocacy organizations. And we're also developing on part of a platform that interacts with voters, with donors, and with volunteers, and through canvassing, phone banking, email, direct mail, social, web, and more. And so in sum, all of these pieces, we're working hard on making it possible to treat people as people and break down those data silos. And we're making that data as actionable as possible by putting it where you need it in your hands. And we're partnering with the DNC to provide access to that data to innovators like never before. And we really hope and believe and want your help in making sure that these things spawn innovations for progressives and Democrats coming into this next cycle. So people, data, action. And there's one final piece of our new innovation platform, and so I'm going to kick it back to Aaron to talk about. Aaron?
Thanks, John. So I could say that as somebody who developed an app with Justin and Edward, wherever they are here, on a campaign, these kind of tools would have been great. They would have helped us with national field. They would have helped us get further, faster, and be able to do more good. So I'm really excited about this stuff today. So John talked a little bit about unifying data, right? How we can pull it all together to make it actionable for whatever apps developers may be developing. He talked about Action ID, which goes a long way to lay the groundwork for unifying user experiences across apps, right? You can jump from app to app. You don't have to have multiple logins. We can make it a really fluid experience for volunteers, supporters, organizers, whoever it is that's using apps on the progressive side. And so these two things together, we feel are going to go a long way to improve user experience and improve the types of innovation that we can expect inside the space. And so that kind of started a conversation inside of NGB Van, right? We were like, all right, well, a lot of our users have one login now, and we're trying to create a more unified experience for our users. But at NGB Van, it was a little bit difficult for us to start having conversations about like a truly unified user experience, given some of our history, right? You might know we were two companies, two flagship apps, two separate interfaces. And so we started a discussion about a truly unified experience within our products, but we thought, well, maybe we could take that a step further. Maybe we could start to create a unified experience within the entire progressive ecosystem. And so in order to do that, we formed a new team inside the company, the new NGB Van design team, to really focus on design. with our products, but also in the greater progressive space. It's a cross-functional team of designers and engineers being led by Justin Lewis, who's our new design director, wherever he is. And so to start, before we dug in to just start designing products, we sort of built our own tool to use internally. And so what I'd like to introduce you to is what we call Progress. It's the first ever pattern library and style guide built specifically for progressives, which is built by our new Ngb Van design team. And it's really cool. A lot of reusable elements. I'm sure you guys are familiar with pattern libraries and whatnot. It's got a ton of reusable components, and as a company, a lot of our products were initially designed as complex back-end CRMs. But what's happened within our products is that over the past couple of years especially, the user numbers have exploded. And that's because campaigns are giving more access to users that they would never have given access to before. Volunteers are getting access to Van and NGP. And so we wanted to make sure that we had a team inside the company that was intensely focused on design and user experience. We worked hard to build something that was beautiful and intensely functional, something that we were confident would help improve user experience within our products and that we hope would go beyond that as well. So it's a combination of examples, code for common elements like maybe pagination that may be super universal, but then things that are a little bit more specific to campaigns and advocacy work, like maybe the way that a phone script should look inside of a phone banking app. There's simple recommendations for where different elements should be used. The elements are beautiful and modern looking. Every element has example code, meaning developers can just grab the snippet and use it inside of their apps. And we're going to be open sourcing the whole thing after this coming election, so anybody can use it and contribute to it, and we can start to design sort of a look and feel for progressive technology. So that's the Progress Pattern Library. It's another way that we're really focused on fostering innovation within this space. It's another tool that hopefully will allow developers to more quickly build apps that are beautiful and very deeply integrated with one another. And we really feel that doing that is how we maintain our edge. So we have this new pattern library, and we have our new design team. And so what I want to do is talk about one of the first applications, and definitely the largest project where inside of NGP Van we've been implementing the new pattern library. And so not to bore you, I know you want to see more cool things, but I remember the first time that I saw Van. It was 2007. I was in New Hampshire in a campaign office. I invited the guy that I was the intern for. I don't know where he is, Dan Crawford, somewhere in the audience here. So he was the first person to give me a Van login back in 2007. Thanks, Dan. And I remember the first time I saw it, I remember being like, wow, this exists? This is so cool. And they're giving me access to this data. And I remember digging in and looking to try and figure out how was the best way to manage the precincts that Dan had given me. And it was truly love at first sight. I really loved Van from the beginning. So that's why I am thrilled to get to be the person to stand up here on the stage today and announce to you the biggest change to Van in 7 years. Going back a little bit, Van history, before I show it to you. So, 2004 wasn't a great year for Democrats, right? We lost. There were a lot of lessons learned all around, but it was the beginning of a renewed dedication to building lasting technology for the progressive infrastructure. And as certain things like the Howard Dean 50-state strategy got implemented, we started to see early investments in technology by 2006 pay off, right? We retook the House and the Senate. That was a pretty good year. By 2007, Van had partnered with the DNC to provide the first ever national voter contact and volunteer management system, as well as people like America Votes and State Voices and the AFL-CIO. Did work to provide that kind of technology, a universal platform for all of the other independent groups as well. 2007 was also the year that we released what we call VAN 4. VAN 4 very quickly became the backbone for progressive data, voter, volunteer infrastructure, right? And by far, it was the best voter and supporter management database that the world has ever seen. It was the backbone for the unprecedented 2008 and 2012 field programs all over the country, different organizations working together that brought Obama into the White House twice. VAN 4 definitely changed politics, and VAN 4, there's no question, changed the world. But we're not here today to talk about VAN 4. We're here to talk about VAN 5. So VAN 5 is a project we've been working on for about a year behind the scenes. We've been making updates every few weeks, ripping out parts of the back end, replacing it with newer, faster, more efficient code. And today we want to talk about the things that we've done, the improvements that we're making to make VAN truly the nerve center for your campaigns and organizations. With VAN 5 comes a significant change in the way that we look at the product. What started as just a back-end database to manage voters has truly become an engagement platform for all of your staff and volunteers. And beyond that, one of the biggest requests we're getting is that people like campaign managers want more access. They want to be able to take action inside the platform themselves. And so we're focused on building VAN for more people, and we're focused on building VAN in a way where you can provide interactions through more channels and making it the primary engagement platform for campaigns. So VAN 5 is made up of hundreds of improvements, big and small, that have been made over the last year, many of which you guys are already using. They are being tested out in a lot of races. And in order to make VAN, as we've seen the user numbers on VAN explode, we have been really focused on how do we make it more usable for all these people that are coming to use it. So VAN 5 in a nutshell is these four things, right? We've launched more APIs than ever. We're considering VAN action-oriented at this point, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. It's beautiful, and it's much faster and more reliable. In fact, it's 30% faster already than VAN 4, and we're not even done with it yet. We're implementing real-time syncs through our new relay service, which is a hell of a lot faster. And our new front end, which I'll show you in a second, is drawing on the page 700% faster than VAN 4 was. On the API front, VAN is more open than ever. We're implementing tons of new REST API endpoints to interact with things like people records and Canvas responses, survey questions, and activist codes. And from a design standpoint, it's built entirely on our progress pattern library. We've changed all the icons so that they look modern. We put things in place that were never there before, like tooltips to remove a lot of clutter and make it easier to find things, better fonts, clearer colors, and we've removed a lot of the background images and drop shadows to make sure that it feels super modern. This is what VAN 4 looked like on the day that it was released 7 years ago. And this is VAN 5. So we've done a lot to make sure that we're not getting in the way of the work you guys are doing. We didn't, try and move things around too much, confuse all your people, make you rewrite all your training documentation. But we did try and give it something that we felt would be a little bit more enjoyable to use, a little brighter, a little happier, and we're really thrilled with it. It's beautiful. It's intuitive. We focused on every little detail. A lot of brand new things that we've introduced, and we think it gives it a really nice modern look and feel. So from top to bottom, the entire VAN 5 interface has been rewritten. The whole front end has been rewritten and it's been rewritten on the same library that come November you're going to be able to use if you want to stand up an app quickly. The whole thing is completely responsive, which means that any activity Any activity you need to take, if you need to respond to a support request, or you need to pull a list, or you need to send another list to Minivan, you're going to be able to do that from anywhere, which is really, really exciting. So next, I said that Van is action-oriented, and that really comes back to a lot of the things that Stu and John were talking about this sort of unified person view, right? And the way that we take data and make it more actionable. And we want you to be able to take that data and make it actionable across more channels. The first way that we're doing that is through our brand new Canvas Center, which is making canvases faster and easier to run than ever. We've taken a lot of the things that you told us were major headaches about managing lots of turf and made it super easy. So you can go here, you can push a bunch of lists to Minivan if you want, you can run whatever aspects of your canvas you need to run more efficiently than ever before. And we think that all of the organizers out there who are watching on our live stream are really going to love this. Moving forward, we're going to be continuing down that path. It really is about making it more focused on channel communication than it ever has been before. So doing things like launching calls to a live call center through Van, or being able to launch online ads to a list that you pulled within Van, or an SMS, being able to push a list to an SMS, are all things that are going to be part of where we're headed with Van 5. And again, why more channels? Why are we focused on pushing towards more channels? And it's because we really do believe this is the future. We believe that if you know everything about the way that your organization has interacted with an individual, that there's going to be a lot more actionable data out there, and you're going to be able to come up with better ways to target voters than maybe even we can. So we're really trying to put those things back in your hand. That's Van 5. Van 5 is coming this fall, and even though a lot of what we showed off, some of you are using it right now, we would never want to disrupt the campaigns that you're all running and make you rewrite your training documentation. So everybody's going to get it, but after the election. So it's the biggest update to Van in 7 years. More open than ever, more APIs than ever. It's a new paradigm for how we're thinking about Van. It's beautiful. You're going to have the power of Van in the palm of your hand. We believe this is an enormous change. It's going to change technology for years. So again, coming this fall. Switching gears a bit, I want to talk a little bit about our digital tools. Digital activity at Ngb Van is exploding. It's a huge growth area for the company. More organizations are using Ngb Van to do things like host their website, collect contributions, send email, and more. And part of the reason that we've seen the numbers explode is that we've been offering these tools at a much lower price point than ever before, $45 a month. So a lot of the campaigns that are coming back to that scale thing, it's not just big campaigns that we're trying to serve our digital tools to. We're trying to make it really, really easy for small campaigns to get up on our tool set as well. And some of the numbers that we've seen based on that growth is we have 11 million action profiles and fast action accounts, which is huge, because that allows people to take action more quickly, right? They don't have to refill in forms every time. They can take one-click actions through emails, or they go to a page and they've been there before. They can do it very easily, and that's yielding huge. It's got a huge yield when it comes to things like donations, where we've already raised over 170 million this cycle alone, which is really exciting things for us. But I want to talk about two new things now that we're introducing. The first of which is Action Tag, and the second of which is the Action Center. So Action Tag, which you'll be able to find at our new developers portal today, so developers.ngbvan.com, are fully customizable, embeddable forms, which is going to give you, if you're designing a website for a campaign or you're running your own website, you can drop in our forms, design them however you want, and still have the complete power of the Ngb Van backend. So you have support for all different types of forms, sign-up forms, donation forms, single-step forms, multi-step forms. It's a really great API. I've been using it all week with the new Ngb Van all of the NGP VAN Next forms, and it couldn't be easier. It's really, really great. You get a little snippet of code, and you can drop it in anywhere. It's being used by some organizations already. This is the Ready for Hillary website, and you can see that form right there. That's using our action tag technology. And again, you can find all this documentation at our new developers portal. Secondly, I want to talk about something that really bothers me. So this is the Dole Kemp 1996 website. It says online campaign at the top, and it was. And you can see there's those 6 icons, and then in sort of the bottom left icon is the Get Involved button. So this is like, what, 20 years ago, almost? And that Get Involved button, if you were to click it, it would take you to a static form where it would ask you for your email or your phone number, and then you would hope that somebody contacted you later. And I'm sure that if I went to many campaign websites right now, I would find that it's the same exact thing. And every time I see that, it really kind of depresses me, because this is many, many years later, and we still send people to static forms instead of giving them ways to take action immediately. So I'm really excited today to be talking about the NGB VAN Action Center, which is a tool that's being used this year by the DCCC, the AFL-CIO, and Ready for Hillary, as well as hundreds of other campaigns. It's the next generation of online organizing. It allows supporters to take action right from within your website. They can do things like raise money for you, recruit new supporters online, and a whole lot more. It's an online campaign office. So if you want your supporters to do things like make calls for your campaign, they can do that. You want them to have a grassroots fundraising page and set a goal, they can do that. You want them to match their Facebook lists back to the voter file, they can do that. And that data gets stored back in VAN, which is another, more data that you can use as actionable for other channels. So the Action Center is made up of 3 core components, many of which you may have heard of already. Recruiter, which is our newest addition, social organizing, and social fundraising. And what we're doing is we're bringing them all together into a unified experience. So with Recruiter, you can bring your friends and family into a cause that you care about. Last week, the Washington Post said that it was the next big breakthrough in campaign technology. With social fundraising, you can ask your friends and family to help you fundraise for a cause that you really care about. And with social organizing, you can match your friends, you can match your Facebook friends to the voter file, which all goes back into VAN, where it's actionable. So that's the Action Center. You can add the Action Center to your website really quickly. It's the best way to turn your archaic Get Involved form into a full-fledged online campaign office for your campaign. And best of all, this is available today. So if anybody, if you want to check that out, it's really cool. So coming back, kind of people, data, action. All these things kind of tie back to that same narrative for us. And to go into the NGP side, I want to talk a little bit about NGP 6. Some of you may know NGP 6, some of you may not know NGP 6. Many of you may know that a couple of years ago, we started on NGP from scratch. We wanted to build something faster, that was more scalable, something that wasn't just a database, but that was an integrated fundraising and digital engagement platform. And we call that NGP 6. Now, NGP 5 was a great tool. So in order to build something even better, it actually took us a couple years. We had to do things like rebuild all of the national compliance reports that all of your organizations rely on, which actually takes a lot of work. So slowly but surely, we started moving small customers onto NGP 6, and we added more features until we could get it to the point where we could move some of our larger customers over. The DSCC has been kicking the tires for a while now, but I'm really happy to announce that we just finished Wyoming's compliance report, which means that giant organizations like the DNC and the DCCC are going to be able to move over really soon. It's a platform we've seen extraordinary growth on. The user numbers have tripled over the past year. The speed has gone way up, so if you're already using NGP 6, you can thank some of the developers who came out tonight, because it loads twice as fast as it did before. Things like imports and exports are 300% faster than before. We implemented a new query engine, which is faster and more flexible. Also on the NGP side, we're rolling out Ngb Swipe, which is going to allow all your organizations to take donations on the go. It captures all of the data you need to file your reports, and it goes directly back in to NGP. So a lot of really cool things today. You know, NGP Van has 160 incredible team members that made this all possible. But yeah, I want to thank a few in particular who we never would have gotten to all this. We never would have been able to build all this without them. I want to thank Amanda Colombe, who's right here. You may know that she ran GOTV for the Elizabeth Warren campaign, and she runs our van product team. Without this, Van 5 never would be possible without Amanda's leadership. I want to thank Michelle Schefter, who, I don't know exactly where she is. There she is. She's in the back. Who came to us not so long ago from Blackbaud. She's a fundraising genius, and she's really helping us take our fundraising platform to the next level of sort of optimized fundraising. She's fantastic. She runs our NGP product team. I want to thank Rob Winnikitz. I don't know where he is, but who leads our digital product team after he was lured away from the White House not so long ago. And he's been pushing really hard that we build more integrated, optimized products. His leadership on all products has been great. Tuvin Vung, somewhere. There she is. She leads our overall product team, and Drew Miller, who's our VP of Engineering, is somewhere here. Without these people, we never would be where we are today, but you know, everybody, NGB Van in the room, you know, round of applause. It's tremendous work. It's taken us a while to get here. So tonight's been a big night. It's been a big night for progressive innovation, organizers, volunteers, fundraisers, campaign managers, and more. We've rolled out our platform for innovation, our advanced matching algorithms, our PersonDB pipeline, which allows us to work with our analytics partners and get you the best scores and models possible as quickly as possible. Rolling out all of our new APIs and Action ID, which you can find at developers.democrats.org or at developers.ngbvan.org, and our progress pattern library, which we used to build the new Van 5 interface. We'll give you this video one more time just so you can all... You got it. You got it. Yeah. So it's the biggest update in 7 years. Van 5 is coming this fall. We talked about Action Tag. You can also find that documentation on our developers portal, and Action Center, which is going over really big now. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank our online audience as well. It's been great. I hope you all join us for a refreshment outside. Thanks.